Did you know in this video we will not be discussing any of Megan Thee Stallion drama? Nope, sorry people. And did you know in this video we will not be watching Megan Thee Stallion twerk? Sorry fellas. But did you know in this video we will definitely be taking it back and we'll be discussing Megan, Javon, Ruth, Pete, mother, father, great grandmother, grandmother, grandfather, sister, aunts, uncles, cousins, and then some? Well, if you didn't know, you gonna learn today. Now check this out. Megan Thee Stallion, whose real name is Megan Javon Ruth Pete, was born on February 15th, 1995. She was born to parents Holly Elise Thomas, who was born on May 2nd, 1971, and her father, Joseph Pete III, who was born on August 2nd, 1965. Holly and Joseph have a 6-year age difference, and in 1995, when Megan was born, Holly was 23 going on 24, and Joseph was 29 going on 30. Even though Megan says she is from Houston, she was born in San Antonio, and I read in an article somewhere that her mother, Holly, said that she made sure that when she was pregnant with Megan that she drove to San Antonio just to have her daughter there. Nevertheless, Megan grew up in a neighborhood referred to as Dead End in the South Park area of Houston, which was home to the hip-hop collective known as the Screwed Up Clique. Megan's own mother, Holly Thomas, was a part of that collective, rapping and releasing music from 2001 to 2007 under the name Hollywood. One of Holly's biggest hits was a single dedicated to DJ Screw, the leader of the Screwed Up Clique, and her mom served as a major inspiration for Megan's own career. Now, if you were wondering who is DJ Screw, he was an American hip-hop DJ based in Houston, Texas, and best known as the creator of the now famous Chopped and Screwed DJ technique. He was a central and influential figure in the Houston hip-hop community and was the leader of Houston's Screwed Up Clique. DJ Screw died November 16, 2000. This chopped and screwed technique that DJ Screw came up with, but Megan's mother Holly was a part of, is a technique of remixing hip-hop music which developed in the Houston hip-hop scene in the early 1990s. The screwed up technique involves slowing the tempo of a song down to 60 and 70 quarter note beats per minute and applying techniques such as skipping beats, record scratching, stop time, and affecting portions of the original composition to create a chopped up version of the song. Now, did you know that another person that was a part of this Screwed Up Clique, the DJ Screw, started, and Megan's mom Holly was around for? And I say around because I cannot confirm that she was a member of the Screwed Up Clique, but she was definitely around at that time, was George Floyd. People, George Floyd. If y'all knew, you didn't tell me nothing. In the 90s, George Floyd played a role in the rise of Houston's beloved rap crew, the Screwed Up Clique. And this is because even though George Floyd was born in North Carolina October 14th, 1973, and died in Minnesota May 25th, 2020, when he was a toddler, his family moved to Houston, Texas. Floyd left his mark on the city through his friends and family, but also through his music he made under the name Big Floyd. George Floyd grew up in Houston's 3rd Ward, the home of the city's hip-hop and rap scene. And let the record show this is the exact same area that Holly and Megan grew up in. Floyd used to spend hours making the kind of slow the music down form of rap music made famous by the late DJ Screw, who also knew and worked with Floyd, and who also came from the 3rd Ward, Houston, Texas, is Beyonce. And people, maybe that's why Beyonce has taken such a liking to Megan so early in her career. I don't know, people, just saying. In an interview with Variety, Megan says that it was her mother and grandmother who primarily raised her. Without any siblings around, Megan says she had to find ways to entertain herself while her guardians were at work. Her time alone would soon foster her current stage name, as she would perform as her alter ego at home. I just found ways to keep myself entertained, dancing in the mirror, listening to music loud, trying on anything I wanted to wear in the closet. I was always in my own little world and just acted like that everywhere I went. And growing up in Texas, It's so hot. I never even realized anyone else dressed like me until I went to a show and I saw other girls in booty shorts, bikini tops, and cowboy hats. Although Megan didn't have any siblings around in her early years, she credits the women in her life for shaping the confident woman she is today. Seeing her mother work to provide for them while working on her music made Megan want to become a rapper. Megan would soon follow in her mother's footsteps. I found this interview interesting with Megan coming from Marie Claire for two reasons, and it says Megan didn't always have so much confidence. She was a quiet child, which made her an easy target of one particular girl in elementary school. Nobody put their hands on me, she makes clear, but it was just a lot of verbal abuse. That all came to an abrupt halt one afternoon when she informed her mother of the bullying. In a curse-filled tirade, her mom encouraged her daughter to stand up for herself and dress down her tormentor. A 7-year-old Megan did just that. I went to school the next day and cussed the bitch out, she proudly recalls. After that, she definitely left me the F alone. Megan was raised by 3 generations of industrious women, and they all imparted invaluable life lessons. Her great-grandmother, a caregiver and entrepreneur who retired owning 3 homes, taught her to always put that purse first. Her grandmother, a special ed teacher, encouraged her to always be kind. It takes more energy to be a bitch than it does to just be nice. Megan's mother, Holly Elise Thomas, was born to her father, Leroy Thomas, and her mother, Megan's grandmother that she speaks of so highly, Madeline Joyce Lacey being her maiden name and Thomas being her former married name, and she was born on May 2nd, 1951. She is currently still alive at 69 years old, and if I'm not mistaken, she was born in San Antonio, Texas, which is the reason why I believe Holly went to San Antonio to have Megan in the first place, was because she had family there. Madeline Joyce Lacey went to Highlands High School in San Antonio, Texas, and I was able to find 2 yearbook photos of her, one I think in 68 and the other being in 69 when she was 16 and maybe 17, 18 years old. Megan said her grandmother Madeline was a special ed teacher and that she had inherited some things from her mother, which is Megan's great-grandmother, and all of that is true. I did see proof that her grandmother was a special ed teacher and that she had actually inherited some properties from her own mother. And this is also the grandmother that in December of 2019, Megan went to her social media page to post her buying her grandmother a new truck.
What you doing, Nanny? Let them know, Nanny. Let them know, Nanny. Real high granny stuff.
Real high granny stuff.
Real granny. Real high. Hello, what you say? Real high granny. Hello. Megan real than a bitch. My nigga real. Stop playing with her. Real talk.
I don't know if you've really paid attention to Megan's full name, Megan Javon Ruth Pete, but most people who have a middle name just have one. But she has 2, which kind of sparks my interest because I feel like it was something to that, and based on my research, it is. But we'll get into that just a little bit later. But Megan's grandmother, Madeline, was born to her father, Javon Juan Lacey, born April 14th, 1927, and died August 14th, 1997, at 70 years old in Houston, Texas. And her mother, Megan's great-grandmother, Ida Mae Osby, was born December 7th, 1931, and died March 16th, 2019, at 87 years old in Houston, Texas. And this is also the great-grandmother that Megan speaks of being an entrepreneur and owning several businesses. And not too long ago, when you heard of her grandmother passing away and she was really hurt, this is the great-grandmother she was talking about, Miss Ida Mae Osby. Miss Ida Mae Osby being her maiden name, did not play any games when it came to the fellas. She was actually married 3 times, not only to Madeline's father, Javon Juan Lacey, but to a guy named Melvin and to a guy named Raymond, until I think Raymond passed away. But now we're going to get a little bit into Madeline's father, Megan's great-grandfather, Javon Juan Lacey. Now let me speak about Javon. It was a little difficult pinpointing Megan's great-grandfather because on some things they had him listed as Juan Lacey. On other census report, it was Javan, Javan, and then I think they were even trying to spell it Giovanni Lacey. And it wasn't until I found a headstone that was spelled Javan, Javan Lacey, and then I pinpointed the dates. I matched the dates with the census records and then realized that, wait a minute, I think this is where Megan got one of her middle names from. They just spelt it differently to give her more of a girl spelling of the middle name. Jovan, Javon, I think it's all the same thing. Hers spelled Jovon. So I believe that when Holly was coming up with one of Megan's middle names, she was thinking of her grandfather, her mother's father, which I believe was huge in Madeline's life, because not only from his headstone did I get the real spelling of his name and I was able to match up the dates, but I also found out that he was a private in the Army and he was a private first class. Now we are getting into Meg's great-great-grandfather, her grandmother Madeline's grandfather, and her mother's Holly's great-grandfather. Now Fred Lacey was born August 1st, 1889, and in some things they have it 1891, and he died December 13th, December 13th, 1980, at the age of 90 years old. Fred Lacey married a woman by the name of Mary E. Clemens, Clemens being her maiden name Lacey, born January 31st, 1900, died December 29th, 1975 at the age of 75 years old. Well, they had several children, and one of their children just happened to be Javon Juan Lacey, which is Megan's great-grandfather, but we are talking about her great-great-grandfather, Fred Lacey. Now, I also found a registration card for Fred Lacey where I think he said he was 52, 53 years old, which means that this was in 1941, and at that time, Javon Juan Lacey, I think, was maybe like 14 years old. Fred and Mary's son, Javon, was not the only one to serve in the military. They also had a son by the name of Thomas Lacey, where I ended up finding a form that was the U.S. Army Transport Service arriving and departing passenger list from 1910-1939, stating Lacey Thomas as a private, and he lists his father, Lacey Williams, as a person to contact, and he said that he lived in Dime Box, Texas. Now, the reason why this caught my attention is because when I was looking at the form and I looked at the top of the form, I noticed that it said 816th Pioneer Infantry, and then someone wrote in the word colored and underlined it. So I said, oh, wait a minute. This is the 816th Colored Infantry that Megan's great-great-granduncle served in. In a 2020 interview with Vibe magazine and Marie Claire, Megan speaks on her father, Joseph Pete, and says, I thought my dad was the coolest man on the planet. He was so clean and so gangsta. He would pick me up from school, and I remember riding around with my dad feeling cool. My dad was definitely my best friend. But for the first 8 years of my life, he was in jail. When he got out, though, we were together every day. I saw how he treated my mom, and I saw how he treated me. I have so many strong positive influences. I'm not going to lower my standards. Megan doesn't speak about her father that much, but when she does, she has called him a hustler. Now, when she said hustler, I was like, okay, now what does that mean? Does that mean that he was in a gang? Does that mean that he was selling drugs? People, I don't know. But what I do know is that as far back as the age of 19, he was definitely in and out of jail. When I say in and out of jail, what does that mean? Well, remember that his birthday is August 2nd, 1965, and in November of 84, when he was 19 years old, there was charges brought up for burglary of a vehicle, which was a third-degree felony, and he was sentenced to 10 years Texas Department of Correction time. Now, I said 10 years. Did he have to do the whole 10? Did he have to do 5 people? I don't know. But then in February of 85, when he was 20 years old, He had aggravated assault on a peace officer, burglary of a vehicle with intent to commit theft, and larceny and theft, and I don't know, people, but it was a third-degree felony, and he was sentenced to 3 years. And then in November of 87, when he was 22 years old, he was still dealing with the burglary with intent to commit a theft of a vehicle, but then he picked up being on the run. So was he on the run? Did he have a warrant out for his arrest, people? I don't know, because in January of 89, he was arrested for possession of a controlled substance, and it says confinement of 15 years. I said, what? 15 years? Couldn't possibly be, because then how in the hell was Megan born? And then in September of 92, when he was 26 years old, he was arrested for engaging in criminal activity, possession of a controlled substance smaller than 1 gram, theft of a stolen property, possession of marijuana less than 2 ounces. And how much time he got for that, people, I don't even know, because the paper trail kind of stopped here. So what happened after this that caused him to be in jail, Megan said, for the first 8 years of her life? I don't know, but let's go down her timeline. So she was born in 95, and at that time, Joseph was 29 going on 30 years old. She said that he was in jail for the first 8 years of her life. So if he went to jail in 95, that means that he didn't get out until 2003. Now, there's a picture with her and her father on it. Now, I'm not from Texas. I didn't know where it came from, but people that seen it said that that was Astro World in Houston, Texas. Now, Astro World closed in 2005, which is 2 years later after Megan said her father got out of jail in 2003. Now, for me, I just felt like the whole thing was sad, because if he really was in jail for the first 8 years of her life and her mother was taking her up there to visit him, that means she didn't really spend that much time with him. And when he got out in 2003, he literally was only alive for 7 years before he died November 4th, 2010, at the age of 45, when Megan said she was 15 years old. We'll get back to Megan's father, Joseph, in a bit, but let's talk about this posting that I seen from the Neighborhood Talk a few months ago. Now, this is not to debunk anybody's information. This is just to clarify some things. And also, this posting is partial the reason for me doing my research and making this video in the first place. And the posting from the Neighborhood Talk says Megan Thee Stallion's sister calls her out for not doing more for her niece and nephew. And then the other posting says, it's funny, you only held your niece one time and never saw your nephew once. It's crazy how you can do more for someone else's kids that's rich already, but can't keep it real with your own blood. And they tagged Meg in it. And then the Neighborhood Talk wrote, nobody wins when the family feuds. Hopefully they can patch things up. Basically, this is when my research started for the sister, and some of the information that I needed was just right in the comments section. And somebody said, now let's be clear, my cousin ain't post this and never would do this to her sister. Clearly she stated that. Y'all be tripping on the internet, man. And Ashley don't need nothing from her at all, never asked her for nothing, and gonna continue living. And then the sister said, I already know, cuz I'm not worried about these dumb, no life having people. Everybody that knows me knows how I am. My family comes before anything. That's my damn sister. Why would you do anything to hurt or make her look bad? This S is whack. And then she goes on to say in another talking in this comment section, it's the waste of time trying to explain to these people that don't know what the F they talking about. For the last time, I don't have time for stuff like this. She is my blood sister, and I would never out her on the internet. If you know me, you would know that. And y'all go that far stalking me to see that she unfollowed me? Wow, this is a mess. Clowns. And then someone else wrote, they didn't even bother to read the caption. Literally said, my uncle have 2 kids. Yet here they go talking about take care of your own kids and clout. It's ridiculous. Then somebody wrote, why do people think they are old stuff when you bring it to the internet? Yeah, you ain't getting nothing from me. And then the sister, Ashley, now we know her name, said, I don't give a F who you are, and don't ever speak up on me when it comes down to my sister. And for you to say I wasn't there for the funeral, obviously you wasn't there because me and my baby did come to support her at Holly's funeral. You don't know S about what me and my daddy and Meg had going on when we was growing up. So you can go F yourself on your stupid A opinion. You don't matter to me. And while you are on here attacking my character, I said a million times I did not write that stuff, and I would not do that to my sister. Before this posting from the Neighborhood Talk, I actually thought that Megan was the only child, but come to find out, she actually do have a sister, and her name is Ashley. She is 30 years old, from Houston, Texas. Yes, she does have a daughter. Her name is Millie. I think Millie is like 1 or 2 years old. Contrary to popular belief, Megan and her sister Ashley actually do have a relationship. I seen some postings where Meg the Stallion was in the comment section commenting to her sister about her niece Millie. So I'm assuming that if Megan unfollowed her sister, she probably just did that because of the drama and everybody following her on social media. So just to get her sister outside of the drama. But other than that, you see what the sister said. She was there for her sister for Holly's funeral. So even though Holly is not her mother, Holly is not Ashley's mom, but Ashley and Megan do have the same father, which is Joseph Pete. While Megan's mom, Holly, continued to work to provide for her daughter, also while maintaining her rap career under her stage name Hollywood, Megan went to high school. And in 2010, at the tender age of 15, she lost her dad. And just a few years later, in 2013, she graduated from Pearland High School.
I'm a boot. She's a cat. Remix! Cats and boots. Discrimination to nerds everywhere, okay?
Now, I'm just going to keep it real with you people because y'all know that I'm nosy. My whole two purposes for doing this video was, one, to find out about Megan's sister, and to two, find out about her daddy. Like, what happened to Joseph Pete? How did he pass away? Was he shot? Did he die from cancer? Did he fall down the stairs? Was he like, I have the slightest idea, but I just needed to know, people, what happened to Joseph Pete the third? Was it Junior? Was it regular Joseph Pete? It was just a lot of research I had to do, and this is what I found out. So far, what we know about Joseph N. Pete III is that he was born August 2nd, 1965 and died November 4th, 2010, and that he spent most of his life in jail. When Megan was born, February 15th, 1995, he was 29 going on 30. He didn't get out of jail until Megan was, about 8 years old in 2003. And now we found out that he has a daughter named Ashley that is 5 years older than Megan, which means that he has other children. Does Joseph Pete have other children outside of Megan and Ashley? Well, to be perfectly honest with you people, I cannot confirm or deny that. Because yes, I did find another young lady that do kind of look like them, but I didn't find enough matches for me to feel positive that yes, that could be another sister. Now, I do know for a fact that Ashley do at least have another sister outside of Megan that comes from her mom. Did I find her mom? Yes, I did, but I felt like there was no reason to show them on here because this particular video is not about them. Joseph Pete III was born to his mother, Ruth Laverne Rhodes Pete, Rhodes being her maiden name, Pete being her former married name, born 1939 in Texas. Don't know if she is still alive, but if she is, she would be 82 years old. And his father, Joseph N. Pete Jr., born April 1st, 1943, died June 2nd, 2003 at the age of 60 years old in Texas. Now, Joseph Jr. married Ruth October 27th, 1964 when he was 21 years old and Ruth was 23. Okay, Ruth, like a little older man. And Joseph and Ruth were married for 10 years, divorced August 28th, 1974 in Harris County, Texas, when Joe was 33 years old and Ruth was 35. Don't you remember earlier in this video when we were discussing Megan's two middle names, Javon and Ruth, and I felt like that they came from somewhere? And then we discovered that Javon comes from her great-grandfather, Javon Juan Lacey, and I know you just heard me say the name Ruth, Joseph's mother, Ruth Laverne Rhodes. So basically what I'm saying, people, is I believe that when Holly and Joseph were choosing Megan's middle names, that they both chose names from people that they cared for very much. Holly choosing her grandfather name, Javon, and Joseph choosing his mother name, Ruth, giving Megan the name Megan Javon Ruth Pete. I didn't find that much information on Megan's grandmother and her father's mother, Ruth, but I did actually find some information about her grandfather, Joseph Pete Jr., and I see that he actually went to jail a few times just like his son. He was arrested April 9th, 1970 for driving while under the influence of liquor and convicted August 21st, 1970. He got 1 year probation. He was 27 years old, and they described him as a black man, 5'6", 151 pounds with maroon eyes. And then again, he was arrested on December 13th, 1988 for unlawful carrying of a weapon and driving without a license. And he was convicted on April 3rd, 1989. He was 45 years old. He basically got a $800 bond, $600 fine, and had to do 4 days in Harris County Jail. How did I know that this was Megan's grandfather? Especially when at first glance, he looked like he can be Mexican, or at least that's what I thought when I looked at the picture. I was like, is this a Mexican man? And even more than them all resembling and having the exact same nose, it was this Facebook posting that I found, because I already found like I was looking around the right people. But then this Facebook posting was dated for April 1st, 2019, and it said, "Happy heavenly birthday to one of my favorite uncles. I can hear you now. Come here, Niecy. R.I.P. Joe Pete. And remember, Joseph Pete Jr. birthday is April 1st, 1943. So I knew that this family member, this niece, was giving a happy birthday tribute to her uncle, and I had found the right person. I don't listen to Megan's music enough to know myself, but I heard that Megan has mentioned in maybe her music or in some interviews that she may be mixed with Creole. Now, what I can say about that is the same lady, which would be Megan's second cousin, who posted the tribute to her grandfather, also posted a picture of her father, which would be Megan's grandfather brother, giving him a tribute for his birthday, and she called him a mean Frenchman. So I found that interesting. Now that mixed with looking at Megan's father, and you seen what her grandfather looked like, and the other family members, and some of the last names that Brozart, that are very Louisiana, very Creole-ish. With that being said, people, there's a strong possibility, I believe, that she can have Creole in her background. Now, we heard Megan say that her father, Joseph, was a hustler, but what she has failed to mention is that her mother, Holly, was a hustler too. Okay, now let's go through this. Now, we already heard that her mother, Holly, under the name Hollywood, was a rapper from 2001 to 2007. Now, I don't know how accurate that time is, but if she did stop in 2007, then Megan was about 12 years old. And then we heard about her mother being a bill collector. Now, I don't know if her mother had a job as a bill collector. I don't know. But what I do know is that I found something with her and Joseph's name on it saying that they owned a business where they were doing some bill collecting. And then let's not forget about Pretty Time Entertainment Management, which with that, Megan, or aka Megan Thee Stallion, released her first single, Like a Stallion, in April of 2016. And then I found something where it says that Holly owned a business called Dialed Up Fashion Boutique. Now let's talk about this fashion boutique right quick. Now, I think that she not only used this boutique as a means of income to help her daughter with her rap career, but I also believe that she used this boutique as a way to advertise and market Megan Thee Stallion. I read somewhere that Megan said she had done some modeling, so I was like, okay, girl, well, where you had did that modeling at? And then what I had realized was that she was talking about modeling that she did, well, I think that she probably first started with her mother's Dialed Up Fashion Boutique. I found some pictures with her modeling on her mother's sites, on her Facebook sites and Instagram sites. And then what I also realized was that she was also using her Dialed Up Fashion Boutique name to collab with people to get Megan on a stage to not only promote her daughter as a model, but also let people know that she was a rapper. Why do I believe this to be? Well, Megan said that she started rapping when she was 16 years old. And then in about 2013, when she was 18 years old, she started getting noticed in Texas because of some music that was uploaded of hers on YouTube. And then about 2015 is when I'm thinking that Holly started her Dialed Up Fashion Boutique, which is also around the same time that I noticed pictures being uploaded on Dialed Up Fashion Boutique Instagram and Facebook page of Megan Thee Stallion modeling, which let the record show is also the same time 2016 when Like a Stallion came out. And then also we have to remember that this is the exact same time that Holly is now promoting and trying to collab with people to get her daughter in fashion shows to promote her as Megan Thee Stallion. I found this flyer dated for May of 2016, and if I'm not mistaken, it was on Holly's Dialed Up Fashion Boutique Facebook page, and it says at the top, your favorite African productions and DialedUpFashionBoutique.com presents Kui Genti, if I'm saying that correctly, Comedy Meets the Runway Showcase. Now, this is supposed to be Holly connecting with people to get Megan seen. And because of that flyer, I was able to find this posting dated for September 13th, 2019 by the Kui Genti man whose name I just mentioned. And it says, quick story. 3 years ago, a lady named Miss Hollywood approached me about hosting a fashion show. So we decided on making a comedy/fashion show called Ladies of Comedy Showcase, Rip the Runway Edition. She told me about her daughter being a rapper and wanted to use her as one of the models. The show was a huge hit with people. Now, fast forward to today. Her daughter is now one of the biggest rappers in the country. Megan Thee Stallion is her name. I was around greatness and didn't even know it. Support local people. Support local talent people. Hashtag RIP Hollywood. Hashtag make mama proud. Holly worked very hard to get Megan to where she's at today with her rap career. And then I even heard that Holly had been suffering from brain cancer for a while, but would still go with Megan and support Megan on her journey. That's why I know it had to been devastating when on March 22nd, 2019, at the age of 47 years old, Holly Elise Thomas passed away from brain cancer when Megan was only 23 years old. But 2 weeks prior, on March 16th, 2019, at 87 years old, Megan lost her great-great-grandmother, Ida Mae Osby.
Hey hotties, this is like my 500th time trying to make this video without getting super emotional, but here we go. This year I lost my mom and my grandmother in the same month, and although all these positive things have been happening to me and I've been trying to do good, I've been trying to keep a smile on my face, you know, trying to stay strong, trying to stay happy for me and my other grandmother and the rest of my family. It's pretty rough. It's pretty hard. This is the first Christmas that I'm ever going to spend without them. And I just wanted to give some hope to my hotties that might be going through something too. I just wanted to spread some positivity, tell y'all to stay positive, stay kind through your hard times because the pain doesn't last forever. Just, you know, try not to get in a dark place. You know, just always try to be kind to others because you never know what they're going through.
Megan said it was difficult watching her grandmother Madeline and the difficulty her grandmother Madeline had taking care of her great-grandmother Ida Mae Osby. So that mixed with the passing of her great-grandmother and her mother is why she said in a 2018 Billboard magazine interview that she was keeping her promise to her mom and that she had enrolled in the health administration program at Texas Southern University. She admits that it has not been easy balancing life as one of the most popular female rappers and a college student. While Megan does not plan to use her degree to become a nurse, as most would do within the health administration trade, she does plan to use it to open assisted living facilities in her hometown of Houston post-graduation. Don't you remember earlier in this video I told you that Megan's father, Joseph Pete III, and it's the third based on my research, jail paper trail has stopped and I couldn't find anything else? Well, it started again, people, and I was able to find an updated mugshot of him, and this is dated for November 25th, 2006, and it says driving while license invalid, driving while intoxicated, evading arrest, and then said he had a $5,000 and $15,000 bond. He was 5 feet 11, 225 pounds. This is all in Texas, and it also said that he was released from jail July 26, 2008. So I was like, what? He went to jail for this? But wait a minute, I'm not done. When I thought I was almost done, then came across this mugshot that actually has another charge added onto it from the other one that I just read. But this one said he did a day in jail in 2006. So now I'm starting to think that the other one was 2008. This is 2006. Both mugshots look completely different. Nevertheless, people, I don't know what is going on. I don't know if the police was just picking on him or he was just getting himself into a lot of trouble. I don't know. But it was definitely a lot of jail time going on. Well, basically, after all of this, I done told you about the family, the mom, the sister, the everything, the cousins, the aunt, uncles, all of that. Then told you some information about the father. But the huge question is, what happened to Joseph Pete III? And it's the third based off of my research. Born August 2nd, 1965, died November 4th, 2010 at the age of 45 years old in Texas. And the answer to that is, I have the slightest idea, people. I was hoping that you can tell me something because based off of all my research, I couldn't pull up nothing. For Megan, it all started with her famous appearance in a 2016 cipher. Megan dominated the cipher with her confident delivery and the video soon went viral. The next video to dominate the internet was Megan's Stallions freestyle, which grabbed attention worldwide after she uploaded it in 2017. The next viral moment for Megan came with her song, Big Ol' Freak. The song sparked a social media challenge dubbed the hashtag Big Ol' Freak Challenge, which saw women all over the world twerking to Megan's song. And in 2020, her song Savage became the soundtrack to a TikTok dance challenge. It's pretty clear that social media has helped Megan on her climb to the top. Megan described in a 2019 Vulture interview that my mom is the first female rapper I've ever known. She described how she would listen to her mom at work and think about how she would follow in her footsteps. While Megan did learn a lot from her mom, she certainly forged her own path in the rap world. She explained to The Source, my mama was more of a gangster rapper than a sensual rapper. I'm a lover. Even though Megan's style may be different than her mother's, it's clear that her mother's early influence shaped Megan's life forever. After passing away March 22nd, 2019, Holly Elise Thomas' funeral service was held March 30th at the Fountain of Praise Church in Houston, Texas, and she was laid to rest at the Paradise South Cemetery in Pearland, Texas. Following the funeral service, the family had a Yellow Roses of Texas homegoing service for Holly. In an Instagram posting to her dad, Megan says, LOL, I look like I just ran up to my dad and told on you. Happy Father's Day to the real OG. The best dad in the world. My best friend. My partner in crime when my mom would fuss at us. He passed away when I was 15, but I still apply every lesson he taught me at an early age in my life to this day. I miss you every day. In an Instagram posting to her mom, she says, Happy birthday, Mama. I miss you every day. I know you're watching over me, rooting for me, and keeping me going. I don't have you physically here telling me what I should do, so I've been trying to figure it out on my own, remembering all the advice and lessons you've taught me before. You are such a strong woman, and I promise to make you proud and be one too. We love you, Holly. Well, people, we have finally come to the end of this video. It has been a lot of work, and sometimes I give my opinion, sometimes I don't, but I will for this particular video. How do I feel about this whole Megan Thee Stallion situation, uncovering her family? Well, I'm very happy for her that she's a celebrity and everything that she wanted, she has, but I feel very sorry for her that she has neither parent. Now, let's start with her father. If her father truly was in jail for the first 8 years of her life, then being with him for 7 years isn't really that much time. And based on what I read, he's still was kind of sort of in and out of jail even within the 7 years. So I guess in that a little time, all you can do is get whatever advice and knowledge that you can get from him. And then for her and her mother, Holly, to have worked so hard for her career, and then for Holly to not have really seen her daughter make it and seen all the wonderful things she's done so far. It's just sad because Megan is only 25. She's 25. She'll be 26 February 15th. You know, so at least based on the research, she still got Grandma Madeline. She got cousins. She got a sister. She got a niece. You know, she do got people out there. But I guess now when I see her responding and you know, like how she act on social media, you know, that's just young, and she's just going to have to learn and figure things out. Just like she said in her Instagram posting, she's still trying to figure things out. And it's difficult for us just living regular lives. She's a celebrity. People always have things to say. How does she react to those things? Remember, her grandma told her that it takes more energy to be a bitch than it does to be nice. And her mama said, don't let nobody say nothing to you. So I bet that can be conflicting for her sometimes, trying to figure out how do you handle situations. Should I sit back and not say something, or should I say something? Whatever the case may be, kudos for her. Kudos to her for making it this far. She seems like she has strength in her blood. So I expect to see her doing big things. I would like to know how you all feel about this situation, and while you are letting me know, could you please like and share this video and subscribe to Geneva's Closet if you haven't already done so right here on YouTube. And you can follow me on Facebook at Geneva's Closet, and you can email me at genevascloset22@gmail.com. You all have a fabulous day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.